This is the Ateneo, a university with a wide range of student population. With the presence of people from different backgrounds, it is inevitable for these students to feel the need to adjust with the people they interact with. This is where the experiences of four students come in. The first student is from an all boys school, and he is called as a homegrown Atenean. The second student comes from an all girls school. The third student comes from an international school, while the fourth student comes from a local Chinese school. This is their story of shock and adjustment in Ateneo.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Anton, and I'm what you can call a homegrown. Homegrown is basically a student who has been studying in the same school or university for almost his or her school life. This may make you think that it'll be easy for me to adjust to university life since it's basically the same school. But no, I still experience difficulties because of the fact that high school is way different from a university setting. People have assumptions about me because of the school I came from. Some would say I'm konyo, some would say I'm mayabang, and it's not just that. Professors in the university are way different from my teachers in high school. Harder exercises, less lenient in grading. It's just really different. And I'd have so much free time that I don't know what to do. And although there are already girls in the senior high school, I'd still have difficulty talking to the opposite sex. And it's not just me. This is how other fellow homegrowns felt when they entered the college setting. So, my social skills, they're basically nothing. And it's kind of embarrassing. And lastly, there will be so much expectations when it comes to grades. There's just so much difficulty with the adjustment.
Hi, I'm Nikki, and I was from Assumption, an exclusive school for girls, and I spent 14 years of my life here. One of the factors that affect the adjustment period in college of girls from all girls high school like me are the perceptions of other people towards us. Each all girls school has a stereotype attached to their name, but in general, girls from all girls school are perceived to be maarte, masungit, and mataray. We definitely don't make tusok-tusok the fishbowl. These stereotypes and initial perceptions are caused by a generalization based on interactions with a few students from this school, which eventually turns into a general description of everyone. In Ateneo, one of the first activities freshman students have is the ORSEM, or the orientation seminar wherein the freshmen get to know more about Ateneo and meet the people we will be spending our college lives with. As part of our introductions, we introduce ourselves by stating our name and the name of our high school. This information adds up to the first impressions of other people towards us and tries to explain why we act a certain way, which affects our initial interactions with them. Here we see how our high school is attached to our identity. But eventually, as time progressed, these people changes their perceptions towards us because they got to know us beyond the stereotypes we were labeled by.
Hi, my name is Martin, and I'm Korean. This is my story of my adjustment from an international school to the Ateneo. You see, I have been studying in the Philippines for almost 10 years already. With that said, I thought I wouldn't have a hard time transitioning to the Ateneo. Man, I was so wrong. It turns out that the Atenean culture was way different from the international school culture. For one, compared to my old high school, the Ateneo community is so big that I got overwhelmed. There are so many orgs to choose from that I just can't decide. Secondly, Ateneans are more open about their sexuality. This was just something that was unfamiliar to me. Lastly, I was surprised how people were fluent in speaking Filipino because I wasn't able to freely converse with my blockmates when I speak Filipino. These things made me uncomfortable in Ateneo, and so I had a hard time getting good grades. Luckily, with the help of my blockmates, my adjustment to college was way easier.
Hey, it's Janine here, and I graduated from an extremely traditional Chinese high school, and I love their culture. And when I moved to the Ateneo de Manila for college education, I was culture shocked. I think it's mainly because our high school was conservative. Most Chinese high schools are, actually. And the Ateneo was very open minded about things. I hear stories about drugs, about premarital sex. Some engage in gambling, and some drink way too much on a weekday and even come to class drunk. I wasn't exposed to these things growing up, and this led me to hang out with the same group of people all the time. I hanged out with my Chinese conservative high school friends, and I didn't want college to be like high school all over again. But new things and new people were out of the picture because it was scary to step out of our comfort zone and try new things. I was forming cliques with my high school friends, and college seemed to be like high school all over again. Send help.
So, what can be a solution for the problem at hand? The answer? An extended ORSEM that would accommodate the incoming freshman students of the Ateneo. We propose to have the ORSEM to be a week-long event. The ORSEM would also include recruitment week of organizations. This way, the freshies can find an org that they find enjoyable. In addition, ORSEM would also include more group dynamics that are relatable to all students. Lastly, ORSEM would include more talks and seminars. All in all, the extended ORSEM would make the freshies' adjustment to college easier because the additional days would give more opportunities for them to find friends and orgs that they're happy with. Once the freshies are comfortable with the environment of Ateneo, they would then have an easier time adjusting to college.